still, the thoughts of you are sinking. Point stands, but I'm still overthinking. You know you don't really call me like you used to, but I know you try. But I've heard you've been here before. But I won't stay the same, it's just what I'm used to. Some things don't ever change, I know it's me and you. But I don't stay the same, I'm just adjusting to. Some things don't change, but I'm designed to be held on to. Babe, I wanna know, is it heartfelt to maybe just a little? Cause you don't really see me like you used to. Would you hold on to me, cause all you do is settle. I've heard you've been here before.
Oh.
One day.
I cut you off in time to...
Yes. Save
where
us.
you didn't have to lip sync adjacent?
Yeah. It's not good lip syncing.
That's what I mean. That's
Yeah.
by your adjacent.
Oh, I see. Happy Saturday!
It's my nice way of saying it just doesn't go well for
learn
that
the
song.
song.
But you're so good at lyrics.
I know.
You're so great
I
at
just
lyrics.
can't get this one. I don't
I
know
mean,
why.
let's do a TLC song, a
Oh,
Beyonce
yeah.
song, an Eminem song.
Right.
And I was like, you
I
know
know.
everything.
I'm sorry, Eli. I'll do better next week.
Well,
Oh, maybe
hopefully
2
he's
weeks.
not watching. He'd be
Ashamed.
he would shed a tear for you. He'd probably write a song about it.
He probably would.
No, if you do like that, so go ahead.
Oh, no. I was saying hello.
Hello.
That's all.
If you do like that music, it is my nephew, Eli Jonathan. Check
Yes.
him out. Spotify.
Yes.
He's linked in all of our descriptions also, so you can find him on Instagram and those kind of things. SoundCloud, all that stuff.
Yes.
Hello. How was your day?
It was a weird day. It was an odd day.
I don't know what that means.
So I got up and I exercised with Raya, and then she's like, I want to go shopping for jeans. So we went shopping, and then I took CJ to my sister's, and then also got cupcakes, same trip. And then I came home and I started working, and I thought, I don't want to. So I laid down in bed and watched Walker, which is a terrible show.
What do you mean, Walker, Texas Ranger?
It's the remake of Walker, Texas
Oh,
Ranger.
you can't remake that?
Oh, no, they did.
I didn't know they did
No,
that.
they did. And it's the guy from Supernatural, Padlecki. I like him. The brother.
So the
one
one
from-
brother went into
one
the
from Gilmore
boys.
Girls. Yeah.
Yeah, he went into the boys. So this guy went into
Yeah.
Walker.
Yes. But the
Gross.
cutest thing about Walker,
No, there's nothing.
there
cute.
is. So
Can't
the
be.
guy, Jared Padlecki, which I'm probably saying his name wrong, but so in Supernatural, his wife was in the show. And then also in this one, his wife plays his wife. And I thought, how cute is it? She does. I mean, it's the first episode, so it's not a spoiler, but she does die. But his wife plays his wife, and I'm like, how cute is that? That was all. That's all I had. Anyways, weird day because I felt like it. And then Scooter said, we're going live today. I was like, oh yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, we normally go. Here's kind of a thing. I'm just getting a message like, when do you go live? And I was like, now. We did change things up. One of our favorite podcasts did a live evening show last night. So
Yes.
in support of them, we wanted to be in the audience and listening and, throwing donations in there and being silly with them.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make sure and not miss that because that's the right thing to do as a community. Urel, hello.
Hello, Urel.
Thank you so much for watching our little corner of the universe right here. So yeah, we want to make sure and participate
Yes.
in that. This podcast is for fun. We try and pick some topics that
I don't know.
sometimes
we
they're
live-
a little much. They're hard to deal with. They
Yeah.
make us a little teary-eyed. And then sometimes they're like, oh, this is just a
Yes. I'm going to try
crap
not to
ton of
cry
fun.
today.
Oh, really? because she picked them. Hey, what we did right at the beginning was crowdsource. I wish.
Yeah.
I was like crowdsourced some topics for tonight. I reached out to my crew, call them the crew, like my two son-in-laws and my two daughters and stuff. So, and then she reached out to her crew. I don't know who it was, like friends, family.
Yeah.
To get some topics. So we picked 2 of them. So if you have topics for us, make sure and send them to us any way you can. SarahandScooter@gmail.com. At Sarah and Scooter. You're smirking.
Well, you got so loud it made me sit up straight. It just threw me off. I was like, oh. That's not bad. Anyways.
Well, I was pretty chill right before this, but I was like, okay, we're live. But let us know the topics that you'd like us to talk about. Even if it's a topic that we have done in the last year or two, let us know, because our opinions do change.
Okay, we're going to start with
We're
this.
strong with that.
And you have a message.
I have a message.
But we have to shoot first. We have to cheers. to
Comment.
Saturday.
No, they're not.
Maybe if you're not signed in.
I
'Cause
think you might have to sign in.
Yeah.
Um.
But can we cheers? Maybe?
Okay, we could cheers because somebody's in
I'll-
there.
and then
URL's in there.
I'm going to do sponsor, and that way you can respond to your messages.
Okay, sludge
Salud.
about.
Happy Saturday. Mm-mm-mm.
Oh, you have sponsors? Okay, go.
Oh, it's a funny one. So my sponsor, or our sponsor for today, is stress. It's always there, whether you want it or not, good or bad. Thank you, stress. That's it. You want to do a real one?
That was sponsored.
Yes, the show is sponsored by stress because that's what the week's.
So yeah, and it really has. Like over the last 7 days, everything has happened. Some of it we'll talk to you one-on-one with if you want to really know. Some, sometimes we don't want to broadcast some of the real life stuff that's going
We'll
on.
broad stroke it today.
But if you really want to know, one-on-one, we'll talk to you about it for sure. But no, I was going to talk about sponsors is you guys always, like you guys out there hanging out with us. If people show up, well, even if people don't show up, because we used to just record this and hope people listened, and some people did.
Again, therapy.
Yeah.
That's what we got here.
It helps us, and hopefully it's helping at least one person out there. I don't know. So the sponsors are you guys. So as long as somebody's listening out there and it's, changing somebody's life in hopefully a positive direction.
Yeah.
Then we'll keep doing this stuff because we've helped some people we don't even know one-on-one through this podcast.
Right.
So that's been really fun.
That was cool.
So reach out to us realistically. We do respond. You can find us at Sarah and Scooter. You can SarahandScooter@gmail.com. All that good stuff. So
All right. Let's
Okay.
do this.
oh, we're going to the next thing already.
Good thing. You want to
Oh.
go first?
Yeah. Well, we can go back and forth. Do you have more than one?
I always have more than one, but I only wrote down one.
Mine are very selfish.
I mean, is that the point of good thing?
No, a good thing could be more than one person. You and I could enjoy it at the same time.
That's true.
You
go first then, because I only have one.
I had quite a few meetings this week, which can be either daunting or look as a positive thing, and they were mostly positive things going on. So one of them is that we have a potential partnership. My company, Time to Tabletop, has a potential partnership with somebody that's literally through philanthropy might want to assist us with a lot of research and work.
Yes.
And
That's
stuff
gnarly.
for our social emotional learning classes. And it's a big company. So hopefully
For real.
like, and it's not like it's Bob's Shake Shack down at, which might be cool, but this is like a world renowned company that, actually reached out to us.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. So that was a really big deal. I even had the nervous sweats while I was in that meeting.
You
So
have 3?
yeah.
Okay. And yes, John, stress is free to all. So my good thing, because we're babies in California. I don't know if you guys know this. We don't do rain like we've been getting. we can emotionally support like 30 days of rain during winter, and that's about all we have to give. So it's been raining like crazy and storming. So I'm just so excited that we've had 2 days of sunshine, and that's my good thing because the sun's been out. I'm a baby. I don't want any more rain. I just want sunshine.
I've been talking about this a lot. I mean, to everybody I would talk about, because I go out and I had a meeting with a potential instructor for our classes and our other instructor, but we met at a coffee shop. And as soon as the garage door opened, I was like,
Yes.
like we were in Florida
It's
tsunami
psychotic.
season.
Yeah.
And I took off, drove and all that. I saw on the trip there and back, I saw 7 cars pretty much disabled and
Yes.
on the side of the road and hit each other. But the thing I look at is it's dumping in Sacramento in March and April. Well, mostly March.
Yeah.
It's now April 1st. But in 3 months from now,
We'll be in a drought.
yeah, they'll be telling us the state will tell us that Sacramento area and this county is now in a drought,
Yes.
and to save your water and
Yes.
don't turn on your sprinklers and
Yes.
only use your washing machine
Shower
at these
once a
times.
week.
And I'm going, okay, so the last 3 months where it's been dumping, where'd you put the water?
They gave it back to the ocean.
No, which is cool, but in this day and age with science and
Right.
technology, I mean,
It's rough.
why? I'm sure they could build a big enough bucket.
No.
Oh.
They can't.
It drives me. That's a rant in itself. Because watch, we'll be talking about this. We'll be doing this podcast and goes like, yeah, we're in a drought again.
Every year.
This sucks.
Yeah.
So dumb. Okay, so I have another one.
Yeah.
Well, I'll do the other one. We did a Meet the Brewer this week.
Yes.
With a. If you don't know me by now, I do like what they call bougie beer.
Yes.
I am very bougie about my beer.
Yes. All of them.
I used to not be like that. Well, no, even growing up, even when I was like early 20s, my dad used to call me the preppy beer drinker because I wouldn't drink Milwaukee's Best. I was like,
Well,
okay,
nobody
Milwaukee, yeah.
That's
I was like, that's not preppy. Look, she's got controls. So I'm really into beer, the science of it. If it doesn't taste good, I will dump it out. That kind of thing. So we did a Meet the Brewer at Bike Dog with Kyle, who brews some of my favorite IPAs. He's been at New Glory here in Sacramento, and now he's at Bike Dog. And we're watered on into that segment, I know, but I didn't even put his name down there. What a jerk.
Lame.
But yeah, we went down there. There was a small group of us because I started organizing a Sacramento beer Sacramento beer socials group.
Yes.
And yeah, it's been really fun. So that was our second
Yes,
event
that
that I
you
hosted.
hosted, yeah.
The other one was at Log Off.
Yes.
So yeah,
I didn't go.
That was no, she didn't
Because
go.
of our sponsor, Stress.
Yeah, and the powers that be, and one of our subjects.
Yes.
So we will get to our subjects shortly.
Yes.
Do you have another good thing?
No, that was all.
Oh.
I only wrote down the one.
I have one more.
Okay.
Okay. So about 2 years ago, was it 2 years ago? Year and a half ago, I found a local luthier in town.
You gotta tell me what that is, because now you sound. special.
They build guitars. Okay. Found a local luthier that's in, and I said luthier
Yes.
like it's French. It's a bad French accent. I'm Canadian, so it's fine.
You can do this.
He's just up the road, and I went up there and got to pick out the wood. I got to pick out the controls. I got to pick out the pickups, do everything to there. And I got a message today with a picture, and he posted it on his social media. It's done.
That's what that was. I had no idea.
It's done.
That's exciting.
That picture that's on my personal Instagram, Disco Preacha. If you look at there, my story, I link it to, I think it's called Aquiline Guitars.
Yeah.
It's one guy.
Yeah.
He's a woodworker, not even much of a guitarist.
I should have guessed that. I was like, all right, cool picture of a
Yeah.
guitar.
Oh, no.
But you post pictures all the time.
That's something he's been building for me for the last year and a half or so. And he's a local teacher. He teaches right here in Natomas.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited. I'm going to be picking it up on Monday. So look out for that. I was very excited about that.
More music.
Yeah.
Maybe to add to the other 7 guitars that he doesn't play music.
I don't have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I do have
You
7.
do have 7. I know.
I'm gonna have 8
Yes. And you recorded 0 music.
this year. That's true. The little ditties in this you'll hear are not the intro and outro, but the little stuff in the middle is me.
Lord. All right.
Okay.
We don't have a song for this.
What do you mean? For what?
The rant.
Oh,
Rant of the week. Do, 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 do. That was
okay. We can do that.
That was the
We
ditty.
will record that soon. What is it called? Rant of the week. Do, 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 do.
Yep, that's it.
Oh, we nailed it.
You did.
All right, rant of the week. Is that the next thing?
Yeah.
All right, check box. Your turn.
All right, here's my rant of the week. Because I'm so annoyed. So you know when you go to the doctor and then they have the nerve to have you step on a scale, which I get it, right? They have to the nerve of having to step on the scale. So I understand it's for, to keep stats and all that good thing. But why do they have to show you? And then also, why is the scale at the doctor's office never the same as the scale at your own house? Who's right? Why? How would you ever know? And why is it never the same? Ever the same? Has yours ever been the same? Maybe it's just me.
No.
Okay.
I feel like they're putting their toe on it or something.
It's just not nice is all I'm saying. It's, first off, I don't want to face it. Like, obviously, I don't want to look at the number because what I stepped on the scale at home is now going to be higher. It's never lower either. It's always higher.
Nope.
Anyways, that was my rant because I went to the doctor this week.
That's a short rant.
No, it's upsetting. Valley, that's not fair. Your doctor rounds down. No. Literally, the questionnaire this week was,
Jeez.
it was literally for a doctor's appointment. How often do you exercise? I'm like, that's not a good questionnaire. I feel like there's other things happening in my life that you should be asking me other than how often do I exercise? Like, how's your eating going? How's sleeping? How's life? I don't know. Ask me those things.
Okay, so I don't know if it's my history or anything like that, but I have 2 similar questions. It's always, how many drinks do you have a week? How active are you? Basically, it's active. And do you take recreational drugs?
What did you answer one of these times? That yes to all of them?
I just said
I don't exercise.
all of the above.
Smoke weed.
I was like, I don't know. It's like, yeah, I sit at home, don't move.
Oh, man.
Drink, have an IV of beer into my veins. And I just, weed.
So Becca said hers always asked if she's being abused or if she brought a weapon. I've never been asked if I brought. I have been asked are you safe at home question. But that's been a minute since anyone's asked me, like, what if I'm not safe at home anymore? Like, I feel like people should ask me that before. It was the last time you exercised.
So like, how did they know you were married to a white guy?
Right.
Are you safe at home?
But I've never asked if I brought a weapon. That's weird.
Yeah. But and here that could be a subject in itself. We might bring that as a subject, is how men and women are treated differently by doctors.
Yeah.
And how black women and white women and black men and white men are treated differently in the doctor's office. It is insane.
I think that would blow people's minds.
It would blow people's minds.
Dude, if you've never seen the show Harlem on Amazon Prime, first season, there is a episode where the lady is having like super bad period pains and she goes to the doctor and it literally is almost word for word the same exact thing that happened to me when I went to the doctor. They were basically like, sucks for you. Why don't you get on some birth control and make it better? And I'm like, no, something's wrong. Like, I literally am about to vomit from how much pain I'm in. And they're like, it's probably normal. And I was like, oh, okay. But if you ever watch Harlem, that episode is like legit verbatim the same thing that happened to me when I went to the doctor.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, it's psychotic.
It's insane. And I could go on with more of that because I have been married in the past 2 times before this marriage. And they were white women. And they were never treated like that. Ever. It was a completely different situation. It's just
crazy.
the most insane. thing that I mean, it's not the most insane because I've been experiencing that. I mean, I've been adjacent to that or part of that community, not just white community, for quite a long time. So my journey started a long time ago, and we've talked about that before too. But that was your rant. That's a short rant, actually, for that, because I could go on for days about that because it gets me heated. Yeah. Mine is, I don't know, get the space out. Like, I don't know if that means anything. It's like, I don't want to say personal space, but my biggest, I mean, my recent rant, and it kind of triggered it today, is being aware of your space and being aware of your surroundings. Like, why would you have drives me nuts to have a conversation in a hallway.
Yes.
And it's a hallway.
Right.
It's the one way to get from one point to the next. Yes. It's a hallway, and it's made for one person.
Right.
Or two people passing by
each
other. But if you're having a conversation in a hallway, you literally just shut down the hallway.
Yes.
And that's insane to me. And I didn't have, and I can't blame it on California or whatever, but I do know that where I come from in the Pacific Northwest, that's not a thing. Like, you don't have conversations in the hallway. But I'm not saying California's the only one, but I was just like, it's more prevalent here than I've ever seen. And I don't want to say just in hallways. So let's take this to the road. To the road. When you turn on your flashers, right?
You're good to go. You can stop anywhere.
You can stop wherever you want. You can block all traffic as long as you have your flashers on.
That's a law in California.
No, it's the most insane thing I've seen. And that's kind of my thing. I was like, I don't understand why people aren't cognizant of other people's
space.
People in the area, other people in the area. I think what triggered it was like, okay, I can rant about this because I'm down here working. I have my music on, everything. And we don't live in an apartment. I mean, we live in kind of townhomes, I guess. So, I mean, our front walkway is not right next to any other house.
No.
It's next to the road.
Yeah.
But for two people to be in our walkway right in front of this window,
have a whole conversation
for 45 minutes, have like the loudest conversation I've ever heard. Like they were mic'd or something. They were so loud. And they weren't mad. They weren't like passionate. They weren't like driven by anything, but they were so freaking loud. And that triggered that thing. I was like, be aware of somebody's personal space, whether it's physical space, whether it's audible space. I was like, it's just not okay. Like, it was like 45 minutes. I looked out the window, stared right at them. It was like, And they looked at me like, what? I was like, I freaking live here. Yeah. So, and I wasn't like I was doing anything crazy, but
yeah, they don't know that.
I could talk about that for a while. You didn't buzz me. Thank goodness.
You're welcome.
All right. So that's my rant.
Good. That's good.
Did we want to break this up into something more comedic, or was that comedic enough? And we'll just go into the real topic.
Well, because I feel like the next one is less serious and one is, I don't know, more serious, but you know.
All right.
We can do it.
Advise me not.
All right, so the first one.
Well, she's picking these, and I'm writing, but we had a lot of them.
And you might have to get the verbiage for this because I just wrote down one word.
What'd you write?
Art.
Oh, art. It's not a person's name, by the way.
There was a better description, and it was like the differences in like perception of art.
It was. Here we look at it. It was brought. I mean, we, like I said, we went out and crowdsourced these things, and now I can't look at the conversation. Can't find it.
You want me to do it?
No.
All right. Now I'm gonna buzz you.
Mars. Differences in how and why you experience art, and that was. I'll give a shout out.
Ariel.
That was brought to us by Ariel. We just decided all the other ones that were brought to us today. They will happen, just not today.
So I'm gonna let you go ahead and say your statement first that you love to say when it comes to art. No, you go ahead.
What did I say?
You go ahead.
No. What's the question?
The differences in perception of art.
I said, you don't.
He, for some reason, and this just gets on my friggin' nerve is that if we don't perceive art or music the same way he does, he's like, well, then you aren't getting it. I'm like, what the F does that mean? Of course we're getting it. We don't look at it this way. We don't have to break down music to every little minutia that's happening in the music or song in order to appreciate what's there. But
That
for
hurt.
some reason, that's the only way to prove that we enjoy it like you enjoy it. And we never will. But doesn't mean we enjoy it any less than you.
She said minutia.
Minutia.
I was like, woo!
Yes, I did.
She broke out the big brain knowledge.
Drives me
there.
insane.
Yes, it can go that way, and here's the irony. Is it ironic?
Don't know.
Do I think? Because I don't. I'm also one of those people I'm on the flip side too. It's the flip side of if you don't like something and you don't even know why, or you can critique it. I'm also the same person who's like, well, then go out and do it yourself.
Right.
Create one of those things yourself. So I'm not a consistent human. Let's be real.
Right.
And it's not about when something moves me, I feel passionate about the other person. You should feel what I'm
Yes.
feeling because it is so great or it's so intense.
Yes.
And I was like, you should be feeling what I'm feeling. They're like, oh, it's nice. I was like, "Ugh."
Well, I think the issue is too is like there's nothing, and it might just be this household's trait. There's nothing more annoying than someone saying, "This is how I want you to perceive this and appreciate this," and then you're like, "You can go F off. I don't want to now. Now I don't even like it. Like I don't want you telling me how I should appreciate something because now I'm just like, forget it. I don't even want to look at it." But for some reason, in this family, we do it all the time to each other. Like, oh, I think you'd like this. Did you already watch it? Yeah, I don't want to then.
I don't think in this family. I
Yes.
think outside of us two.
No, the five of us are all the same way.
Then why do I listen to Ed Sheeran?
I don't know. You barely.
Well, I listen to Ed Sheeran because you are passionate about it and you love it.
Right. But okay.
So I listen to it and go, wow.
So
and
you-
I do put that in my rotation, the certain songs he give to me, but I'm not going to listen to whatever 5 albums.
But you don't listen. But the thing is like if I said, oh, I think you should listen to the song, you won't automatically go put the song on. You'll wait weeks before you listen to the song.
Yeah, because you're supposed to put it on. That's
not true.
That's your job.
That's not true. And we do the same thing. If an album comes out and you're like, okay, we have to listen to the song 47 times
De
so
La
that
Soul.
you can appreciate this. I'm just
3
like,
foot high and,
I don't
and rising.
want to
Yep, that just
because
came
now
out.
I no longer appreciate it because you have forced it upon me and now I don't like it at all.
Yeah,
I'm not
that
even
is
sure
true.
if this is where Errol wanted this conversation to go.
No, but I hope she appreciates the fact that we just don't know what we're doing. And what was the topic? Did you write it out?
No.
I mean, I don't want to look it up
Well,
again.
don't look it up because it take you forever. It's the gist is how the difference is in appreciating art.
How was it? The differences?
Ay, Dios mío.
Okay, so
How that was Ryan's.
yeah, we don't
The
want
difference in how
today.
and why you experience art.
that. Okay, so how? Okay, let's look at how and why.
Yeah.
Not what.
Okay.
Let's go in how. Like, how do you experience art?
Baking for me is a big art one.
Dang.
And music is a pretty big art one. I'm not big on like painting and things. I can't draw. I could draw like a heart and a square. So I think that's why I don't really appreciate like art like a lot of people do because I can't do it. I know it seems odd, but I don't
Can
truly
you help me understand what art is?
like the fancy art, like the kind.
You're talking about paintings? Paintings are not art is not just paintings.
No, I know.
So you just said baking, music, but I don't know art like painting.
So I feel like
So I'm
what the
confused.
world
I'm not
considers
confused.
art,
I'm
like
just-
things in a museum. Because I mean, there's a glass museum, there's art museums, there's all these museums,
Ooh.
and so those things, I'm like, yeah, it's pretty, but I don't know that I truly appreciate like the effort and talent that it goes into doing those things. So I don't. To me, it's not enjoyable to be like, oh, I want to go to an art museum, or I want to go do this, and I'm like, eh.
So, but realistically, I mean, I understand that. I really do. And I'm not, here's an unpopular opinion. I'm not a fan of Bob Ross. Just,
How dare you?
it just,
He is an American hero.
I'm just not a fan. It's too,
What?
I was like, it's
Look
too
it.
dry.
First off, you killed Valerie.
And
Second off, Ariel gave us some clarification.
well, then read the clarification.
We
it's
mentioned in a
it's the chat.
previous episode that we enjoy TV shows, music for different reasons, but the same content. And that's what she was talking about.
Oh, look at you, like making this like
Thank
a
you.
story arc.
We appreciate this.
Because
need to
we
be
don't
reeled
remember
in.
what we talk about at all. We're like looking through things. Did we already talk about that?
But the fact that you don't like Bob Ross is it because, wait, you don't like Bob Ross? Or you don't like what
No,
Bob Ross
I
does?
don't want to say I don't like Bob Ross. I never knew the guy, his heart is, I'm sure, a genuine, pure, beautiful master of his craft. Fact.
Yeah.
But watching him do that was just so boring to me.
Which is
Just
funny
so
because you
boring.
literally watch people put like boards together. Like
do you mean?
what are the little thingies called? What the little boxes called when you play guitar?
Pedals.
Pedals.
Distortion pedals.
You'll watch somebody put a distortion pedal together and think that's not boring. Woo!
Well-
I don't know if you know this. Heck boring.
Yes, to some,
Exactly.
to most.
So my mom used to love Bob Ross, but she would also paint along, because she was a painter. And so I feel like if you know what's happening, you can appreciate how much
That's
effort
true.
it's
But
taken.
I've seen. I mean, I've watched multiple episodes of it of Bob
But you're
Ross.
not a painter.
No, that's not my.
Yeah.
It's not my outlet, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like everyone's mad at you now.
Yeah. I have a lot of unpopular opinions. And most of the people that watch the show and I know they know I have unpopular ones, but like the glass blowing. We've watched that
That's
glass
gnarly,
blowing show.
yeah.
Well, and I've actually been to the glass museum, the one in Tacoma
Right.
with what's his name? Cthulhu, not Cthulhu.
That's not right.
that's a D&D.
That's not right.
Call it Cthulhu. My nerd is showing what Cthulhu,
I will never know what it is.
Kahuli, whatever.
Just let that go.
So somebody knows. Somebody's got to know this. Somebody can Google it. I'm not going to Google it while I'm on the show, but he has like this whole thing, and I've seen him there. He's the guy with the eye patch.
It's not gonna help.
Okay, but I've seen him like blow glass and create these things, and I was like, that was dope. Okay, that was so cool in that craft. But it's not like that's something. It wasn't boring,
Right.
but I think if I watched it 100 times, I'd be like, oh, it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, you made another pot.
Right.
Cool. So yeah, I love it. I think the glass blowing was amazing. To me, that's, you put yourself in this. Yeah, that's cool. So how I appreciate art. Wait, is that what we're talking about? How or why?
How and why?
How?
So let's just say let's choose a medium and then talk about why it moves you.
Let us.
Who? Pray. That's you and me. We're gonna pick music because that's a big one in this family.
You don't want to go down this road.
It's gonna be. I have my timer and your buzzer. So like I feel like we can talk about movies. Movies is good too because that's an art form.
Yeah.
Why do you lean towards certain movies versus others? Like what's your genre that you like lean towards?
I don't think I have a genre that I lean towards because I like almost all genres of movies. I don't think I have a genre that I don't like because I like them for all different reasons.
Okay. But what's your main, like what gets you to watch a movie? What has to happen in a movie that you're like, I'm in it?
I have to have I don't know. A little bit of realism. I don't know. There's nothing. I don't think there's anything. No, I mean, yes, I'm drawn towards certain artists and certain characters and certain directors and certain writers because I like their style. Like I'm always drawn to a Guy Ritchie.
Right.
Anytime Guy Ritchie puts something out there, I was like, I have
You're
to
in
see
it?
this.
Yeah.
I just have to see it because his style it mixes so many other styles together, and it's just it's not just entertaining, it's moving
Right.
at the same time. And it doesn't have to be moving. Sometimes it's like I also like Fast and Furious, the whole series.
Hey, those are moving. All right. Those will bring a tear to your eye.
They have never brought a tear to my eye, but I enjoy
What?
them. No.
Not even the Paul Walker
Well,
one?
that's a real thing that happened.
But
That's not a
it's still part of the movie. They still blend it in there.
okay, but they capitalized on that more than, and that's not against anybody or any director or any writer. But what I look at is, I enjoy them because they're kind of like a superhero movie now.
Yeah.
They've become a superhero. The first couple, not so much. The third one didn't quite get until they tied it back in later. But they've become kind of superhero movies now.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm okay with that because like it's a different universe. It's kind of like if we went and saw John Wick and go, well, that's not realistic. That I was like, it's not supposed to be
Right.
realistic, people. This is get over it, enjoy it or don't. So it's one of those things. I don't know if I'm drawn towards. Yes, I'm always drawn towards something that Guy Ritchie is in.
And Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, well, yeah, Keanu Reeves. That's been since Excellent Adventure. Since Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, I've been a huge fan. I've watched some of them, the movies I don't really like, but I'm drawn to him.
Yeah.
I'm drawn to Jeff Goldblum. I don't know, Idris Elba. There's just certain
Gorgeous human.
yeah, and yeah,
So for me, it's like if the movie has a good soundtrack and there's sports involved,
Baby Driver.
I'm in tears. That's not a sports movie.
You said soundtrack.
I said good soundtrack and a sports movie.
Oh,
A sports movie will make me cry almost 9 out of 10 times.
oh, that's true.
I want to say 10 out of 10, really. I for some
10.
reason, they get me every single time.
Air Bud
Okay,
gets her every
that's
time.
It's not a sports movie. You lost me there. Especially if it's based on a true story. Get out of here. I can't
Cries
even
every
handle it.
time. Air Bud.
That friggin' dog, man. But yeah, and there's something, and I get there most of the time. They're like terribly acted movies. I totally understand that. But I really think part of it is because I was raised by a freaking coach, and there's something
Yeah.
about sports that just always motivates me. I don't know what it is. There's something about sports movies that just always make me feel like I can do better.
I think here's my draw. What draws me to sports movies? I mean, it's a movie, so it's written, right? But in sports, it's not written.
Right.
And I think that's what draws so many people to sports. And I think that's why even media, like let's even talk about this, like live stuff is people are drawn to that. That's why we had this kind of paradigm shift to we want to see something happen live,
Yeah.
live action. So we don't know what the ending's going to be like. There's no spoilers in watching something live,
Right.
right? So the experience is unifying and everybody gets to experience it at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sports is like that. So I think that's why that's that big draw towards sports and sports movies, because it's what the human body can do,
Yes.
how
So cool.
how emotional they are.
Yeah.
I mean, you know me, I was like, a straight male is the most emotional human being I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So yeah, so sports movies, I'm drawn towards them too. Not as much as you,
Yeah. I've seen most of them.
but what I mean, that's one medium.
Yeah.
So, but why?
Why? I told you why.
Why?
I already said my dad's a coach. Why? Okay.
Your dad's a coach. That's why you're drawn to him.
So there's something
So you
about
just psychoanalyzed yourself.
Yes, I literally already did that. And there's also something,
Literally.
most sports movies, I'm gonna say like majority of them, always have a really good soundtrack. And it's not like this like super emotional, sad, like the sad soundtracks. It's like always a pump you up, something amazing's gonna happen soundtrack.
Yeah, you didn't like Rocky.
Okay, first off, Rocky was made like 1914. Yes, I know. Unpopular opinion. The first Rocky was friggin' awful, people. I don't care what you guys say.
It
was
changed sports movies
so
forever.
bad. I agree. I'm not saying it didn't have its place. I'm saying, whew, that was a hard one. But I did watch it. It was rough.
No, I agree with that. I think there's a perception of it. I think we were even talking about something a little bit earlier on a personal level. We were talking about whiskey and wine and, you know, taste and those types of things. It's art and that kind of medium, any sort of art. If you are experiencing it the same way as somebody else, you're a clone or something. Because
Yeah.
I was like,
I don't think we ever have
I don't
ever.
think anybody can.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody can.
Yeah.
I think There are some times where a sports movie really moves her and pushes, and I'm like, I'm not really moved, but I'm moved because she's moved.
Yeah.
So that means a lot. I think that's kind of where we got to come from, is appreciating somebody else's taste, somebody else's motivation in art or movement or anything that they're movement. Not like a bowel movement. What? Like a movement? I appreciate your
Yes,
movement.
it could be a movement.
I guess. I
Oh.
was like, so I don't know where I'm going with this.
Oh,
All I'm
also, you know what's crazy is like when you're out doing something, like you're looking at a piece of art, you're listening to music, and then the memories just flood in. To me, that is the
yeah.
most craziest thing, how seeing something or hearing something or the smell of something can just trigger.
Smell is my big one.
Oh, mine's sounds.
Really. I
Yeah.
mean, sounds is one, too, but it's probably a close second to smell.
Yeah.
There's something about a smell. I don't know what it is. It drives me crazy. It's probably because I have a big nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
That's why.
Uh,
Ooh. See, Ryan says music
See?
triggers memories.
music is
And
a
there's certain
huge
paintings-
one for me, but I just know that when I walk into a room and it has a certain, it doesn't happen that often.
Yeah.
Maybe once a year I'll walk in and I'll smell a certain fragrance of something that just, I was like, all of a sudden I'm 10 years old.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened. Yeah.
Yeah, there's certain like paintings because my mom would always go to like thrift stores and buy like random art, or she would like make things. And so there's certain, like if I see certain pieces of art, it's just like it reminds me so much of my mom. So it's weird how like I don't know, it's weird those little memories of like, oh, I remember when this happened and blah blah blah, because you see like a piece of art or you hear something.
Yeah. Music's definitely, I mean, my day to day.
Yeah.
Like I get moved by a piece of music
Daily?
at least daily.
Oh wow, no,
Oh, at least once or twice a day.
no, it's too much.
I mean, at least once or twice. I mean, that's just fact. Like
Crazy.
something either comes on the rotation or I'm like, I need to hear this song right now because I'm feeling this way and I
Yeah.
need to deal with it. And I mean, even if it's just light,
Yeah.
you know, I was like, I got to put it on there.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's at least once a day. Most of the time, couple times a day.
Yeah.
Something music will trigger that. So
Interesting.
yeah, Ryan, I'm on your. Ryan
Music makes me
commented that.
cook better.
It should.
Yeah. It's one of those things of like if I have a really good song in my head, then the food's gonna come out amazing. If I have no music in my head, it's gonna be rough.
I'm
It's gonna
telling
be
you,
a rough meal, guys.
If you know, if the people that know me, they know that I have theme songs. We talked about that before. It's like I have theme songs, and they change per season, and they don't really go back.
Yeah.
Like I find something new that's pushing me forward. I don't think I have a theme song that. I don't think I have a theme song that I go back to very often. I find something new that pushes me forward, and those other ones bring me back to that moment.
Yeah.
So
Interesting. Did you want another
Is
beer?
it- well, I always do, but
Oh, we should get the box out and then you pick a question and then I'll fill up your stuff.
oh, so we're going into.
Well, because we still have one more advisement out.
Okay, so we'll come back to another one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we didn't. Bonus round.
I got the box out.
Thanks.
You know, I was like, I can push the button, put the box.
But you weren't moving, so I was like, you can't push the
What's he
button and
gonna
then
do?
not get the box.
All right.
All right.
All right. Sarah's gonna take over for a minute. What are you gonna say?
I know you were gonna take over and I was gonna go refill everything.
Oh, what am I gonna do? I can't vamp.
No, you're gonna pick one and then yes, you can. You talk more than anybody I know. There you go.
Excuse you. Oh, see, I gave her a little controller. Now it's all on my face. So I get to choose one of these. Is there enough people to vote in there? Let's see. Let's find out. All right. So we're going to do this. We're going to do a bonus round thing. Again, I think you guys know how this works. We each draw 3 cards. We decide on which one we're going to ask. And then we both have to answer the question. And cool thing is you guys get to go ahead and choose which one if you feel up to it. So, ooh, this one's wordy. Woo! All right. So, if you had to have a doodle permanently tattooed onto your face, what do you think would be the easiest to live with? That's number 1. Oh, we got to do both for that. Sorry about that. I don't know if you can see that. I think you heard it. My autofocus is slow. There we go. There you go. There you go. That's number 1. Number 2 is if you could watch any movie again for the first time, what would you watch? Ooh. That's number 2. I think the focus has figured out what I'm doing now. All right, that's number 2. Number 3 is which mythological creature would be the worst roommate? We've had this before, but we never actually asked it.
Did we?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's totally
No,
fine.
Ryan. I already watched all the Rockies.
All right, so that's 3. So anybody want to vote on which one we want to attack?
3. Oh, Valerie said 2.
Says 2.
John already answered.
John just said Karate Kid.
Yeah.
Like, you
The
can't
movie.
just answer. You got to choose a question
That's
first.
3. So it's 2 or 3.
Oh, my goodness. So 2.
Oh, Ryan said 2.
Anybody else? We'll wait. 5, 4, 3, 2. You're okay, John. Dang it, I'm sorry. That's how when we're older like this,
Just say whatever.
just the trigger happens. Sometimes, like, it's premature. What is it? Premature selection.
There you go.
There it is.
All right, number 2, go.
Number 2. I will be asking you this question then.
Oh, okay.
Well, first, because I have to think about it. I was doing all this.
Yep, same.
I was Vanna
I
Whiting.
was doing nothing.
You're off camera, so obviously you weren't doing anything. I grabbed a box
Get on with
and
it, man.
everything. Okay, if you could watch any movie again for the first time, what would you watch?
Gosh.
I know mine.
Okay.
I know.
I have 2 that no one's probably ever seen. Definitely maybe. I have 3. Definitely maybe.
Oh, that's great. That's a good one.
Bend It Like Beckham.
Good one.
And I can't think of what the third was. It just left my brain.
So obviously it wasn't one that you want to rewatch.
No, I love it. What's it called? It's the one with
Why would I
Ryan
know?
Reynolds where he
Just Friends.
Just Friends. I feel
Yeah,
like
that's
I want to rewatch that as like from
Everybody
fresh
needs
eyes.
to watch that.
Those are my 3.
Everybody needs to see those 3 movies. If you haven't seen those 3 movies, you are missing out on life.
Yeah. See, those are my 3. What are yours?
Well, you got 3. I only had 1.
Oh, didn't go 1.
Mine would be Never Ending Story.
Why?
Oh my gosh, are you kidding? Have you seen it?
I wouldn't want to watch it again. Oh my gosh, I was not the movie for me. It's my bad. Never ending story?
For the first time, to see it the first time again.
Yeah.
When did you watch it the first time? When you were an adult?
I think I was a kid.
I mean, how? Wow.
It was not it for me. All right. Sorry, I can't support your answer.
Do you even know what it's? I mean, have you actually ever watched it?
Maybe I need to watch it as an adult.
Okay,
Maybe I didn't get it.
Maybe because I'm older. I mean, I'm 11 years older than you.
Yes.
So that would be one, and the other one would probably be The Dark Crystal.
Okay. I don't know that I've actually seen The Dark Crystal.
Yeah. So those 2, because I remembered how.
Are they very similar?
They're very
Like in
fantasy.
Yeah, in my mind.
They're very fantasy driven,
they're
and
the same.
and they have some like puppet
Are
animation.
they from like the 80s?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what makes it rough for me.
Well, you know
I
mean,
know.
So those are probably the 2.
John seconded you, so
Yeah. So,
it's because you're old, John.
but realistically, it's like they don't. How do I put it this way? Yes. Special effects weren't great.
Right.
The acting wasn't that great. All this stuff, but the stories were so good and they were so before their time. There would be no Game of Thrones show without movies like that paving the way to get to that point.
I get what you're saying.
It's kind of like I'm sure there's people, I don't know if they're still alive, but watched like the original King Kong.
Right.
That would probably scared the living crap out of people at that time, you know? And to me as a kid, this was just like, like Labyrinth.
Yeah.
I mean, just so much involved in those things that you had to have a good imagination to watch them.
Right.
now in current cinemas, like you don't have to imagine it.
Yeah.
It's right there in your face, which is awesome to me. I was like, that's so cool to me because that's what was going on in your brain when you're a kid in the 80s.
Right.
You know? So those are kind of the movies like, of course I want to watch, but I've watched it 1,000 times. Little Mermaid made me cry. It still would probably make me cry if I watched it today.
I truly feel like people should go back and watch a movie from their childhood as an adult. If you haven't done it, there was this movie that as a kids we watched and it was scary to us. And we went back and it was like the worst claymation of all times. We watched it last year, all 5 of us together. And Scooter and my sister-in-law Megan were there. And it was awful. We watched it again, and the things that was like so scary to us, we're just like, this is the worst movie we've ever seen. It was fantastic to watch again as an adult because it was so awfully funny. And it's not a comic. It's not a comedy at all.
Now it's funny.
Oh, now it's funny. It's like watching Arachnophobia. Still scary, but not as realistic. You know, you're like,
True.
That poor tarantula wasn't going to kill anybody. Oh, Valerie said Sandlot. Ooh, that is a good one.
Sandlot. There's so many out there. It's like revisit those things because I'm a very nostalgic lately with like remakes, and I like remakes or continuations. I'm a huge fan of Cobra Kai.
I couldn't do that one.
I can go on for a long time about that one.
Did you see?
Kind of can bridge the gap between old people and younger people. It's amazing.
Did you see Netflix's release of Power Rangers that's about to come out?
I thought it already came out.
God. Did it already come out?
It's all the originals, and they're in
Oh,
their
it's
40s.
so bad.
Is it bad?
Did you?
But
used
Power
the
Rangers was
same-
bad.
That's what I mean. That's what I think. That's the best part about it. They didn't like try to make any of the morphing like
shouldn't.
better.
They
It's
shouldn't.
just as terrible as it was in
Good.
the '90s. I'm so excited. I'm gonna watch it.
Because that's, I mean, that if it worked, let it. I mean,
Yeah.
don't overanalyze. Like having all these, like, oh my gosh, they had this in here and it didn't look really realistic, and they tear it apart. I was like,
So
can you
good.
just enjoy it?
It's like the same
know?
cut scenes, and that's like my
That's
favorite part.
great.
I was like, I'm for it. I'm so excited about this.
So that what was even the question? Okay, so we did
we answered
that.
it.
Yeah, there's multiple ones, but I think Never Ending Story would probably be the one because the horse part just will destroy you as a human being. You don't even know the part.
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and rewatch
So,
it again. I'm gonna add it to my list of
just
movies to
destroyed me.
watch. Movies to watch.
She's not writing down anything. It's just a line. Go
All
on.
right. I am. What is the telltale sign that you are upset? Easy peasy. Which person in your life is most likely to secretly be a time traveler? What is something childish that you enjoy? Those are my 3. Un, deux, trois. Which one would you like?
Anybody? Me? I don't get to vote.
I was just, I
Let's
was
see
just
what they
saying it out
vote.
loud. I wasn't saying you.
Anybody?
You can just, or you can just pick a number. Ooh,
Brian says
Brian
3.
Ah,
3.
that's 3. Okay.
We got 2 3s. And those are our primary voters
Yeah.
right now. John's just going to answer a few of them real quick.
Errol said 3.
Oh, we got 3 again. Oh, a bunch of 3. See?
All right. What is something childish that you enjoy?
Childish?
Childish.
Define, to me, I think I have a problem with defining childish. What do you consider childish?
Something from your childhood.
No. That's not childish.
Something during yes.
No, that'd be
Childish. Well, something during childhood years. Doesn't be. I guess it doesn't be
no.
your
That's
childhood years.
we have to put a stigma of what is something that's childish.
John said farting with an audience.
I mean that would be considered childish. It's not something I'm into, but he's getting the question. He understands the question I'm having right now.
Yes.
The questioning what is considered childish.
I mean, we're not going deep in this. I need you to just
I
pick
have to.
something. Well, then you're not going to get an answer.
Well, then
I'll
you go
answer.
first.
Shooting people with Nerf guns.
How is that childish?
Oh, that's a childish thing.
No, that's-
Yes, it is.
You should be do that till you're dead.
No, it's still a child. They're made for children. It's
No,
a
they're not.
childish thing.
They are
Anyways.
not. They're in. But let's not get into that because they're guns with a projectile
Yes.
and they're made for children.
Yes.
That's an issue in itself right there.
I'm just saying.
So
I enjoy shooting. Oh, also swinging on a swing. I enjoy that.
How is that childish? Everybody should do that. I don't care how old you are. I'm having a problem with
You're
this
not gonna have
childish.
an answer to this.
I'm having a problem with the childish part. I really am. Like, what would you consider that I do that's childish?
Nothing. I don't know if you were ever a child. You're like the most adulty person I know.
How is that true?
Childish that you
I'm the
do?
most adulty person you know.
Yeah, you're up there. You're very adulty.
When you say up there, like a stick up my butt.
No, not that. Just old. No, I'm just kidding. What's something childish that you do? I don't know that you do childish things.
That hurts.
That you don't do childish things? Yeah, I don't know that you do.
Really?
Yeah.
You're the one that's always getting annoyed because I'm doing the childish things.
No.
Like, oh, I can't wet willy you.
Yeah, that's okay. There's something.
You know?
Yeah, you do.
I love to do like the flat tire or kick you behind the knee and it's like, whoa, fall over.
Okay, but here's the thing. You just said 3 childish things. but
you're telling me I'm not.
childish.
You said I'm not childish. I was like, I'm the first person to go behind somebody and, when you're standing there and get their knees.
Maybe I just
like,
said that
whoa.
so you'd come up with childish things.
You know?
Look,
I don't know.
it worked. You just came up with 3. Ariel said watching Disney movies.
That's not childish. That's culture. How is that? I mean, realistically, when you're saying watching Disney movies, like freaking Marvel is Disney, Disney is Marvel. So I'm just looking as like, and Disney movies, like if you're not going to watch the classics, and I mean,
But you've already answered it.
that's not childish. Watching Disney movies, not
again,
childish.
Perception.
Enjoy them.
Ryan says Bailey has a blanket. And Ryan, I still have my koala from when I was a baby.
Yes.
so
I mean,
I don't hang out with it anymore. It just sits next to the bed.
I'll tell you right now, I still every once in a while go on YouTube where you're watching right now. By the way, make sure and hit that thumbs up and
geez.
subscribe. But no, I will go on there and I'll watch like VeggieTales. I'll still watch that because I remember my kids watching that as kids.
No, I've never
Because
done
it's
that.
hilarious.
I've never gone back and watched the kids shows.
Oh, I do because
Yeah.
they're hilarious.
Well, we
That
have, like,
was
the
probably-
Wiggles. I don't know if you want to do that.
And I will watch the Teletubbies. See, Bailey,
VeggieTales laugh.
it does. I'm telling you right now. Look, I'm a merry-go-round. I was like, this is
God.
sitting, this is standing. There's so many things that I've, that will ring in my head. Larry boy. I'm like, I have so many things that go on in my brain.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, my daughter's right now coming in here going, VeggieTales slaps. VeggieTales is prime content. You're welcome. But as they got older too, my older daughters, I pushed them to other things too. I was like, okay, everybody's gonna sit down and watch Hot Rod because Hot Rod you
you're
have to
getting off
see.
topic. So
You
you're
have-
saying watching VeggieTales is childish?
No.
Are you sure?
Well, I guess it is. I guess it would be considered. I'm trying to think about what other people would consider as
If you're
childish.
watching without your children, it's childish.
No,
Yes.
no,
Are you doing research to make sure it's okay for your kids?
no. It makes me laugh. It's funny.
Bailey said it's childish.
How? Okay, I'll accept it as childish.
Okay.
But it's still, I don't care because I enjoy it.
Right.
Like it makes me laugh. It
No
makes
one
me
said
feel
you
good.
you didn't have to enjoy it for it to not be
It
childish.
totally makes me feel good. It makes me laugh inside, and there's no. Even though VeggieTales has lessons and those kind of things, I don't watch it for that. I never did. I just I understood the lesson. It's a kids show.
Yeah.
Right. But it's funny.
I feel like you're defending this. Like you're defending that it's not childish, even though it is.
Okay.
And there's
it's
nothing
childish.
wrong. No one said it's bad, but I do feel like you're
still
trying to
enjoy it.
defend
I've watched it. I mean, I have watched it a couple times in the past year. just a little tidbits of it because I was like, I have to see this again because I remember things trigger it. I was like, oh, that's so funny. I was like, remember? Oh, and then I have to look it up. And I was like, yeah, okay. Are we going back to something else?
Yes. One more advise me not.
Advise me not.
So part 2, we're gonna do a second invite Investigational me not.
Hold on, I have to respond to John's message. So
Okay, but
John
you have to
said-
read the message.
John said Valerie likes to scare people. Completely childish. She thinks it's funny. Me too. I love scaring people.
Okay, let's go on to that. I mean, we can talk about that.
Scooter
if you
hates
like.
it.
Well, there's not. I think it's fun. I honestly do. But I have a fight response
I have to scare from
instead of a
distance.
flight response. So when we went to a haunted escape room,
Oh yeah, that was fun.
and there was this door and this thing, and as soon as the noise went off, my buddy that was there, Peter, he ran out like Shaggy, like his legs went faster than his body, and I went at it going like this.
Trying to punch a doll.
Yeah, I tried to punch a little doll that was coming at me. So that's, I mean, my first response is to fight, and so that's why I like it, but it keeps your cardio up.
And also, when you give people hugs, I like tickling them.
Yeah, she does. I was
think
like,
people think it's childish. I just think it's funny. As well.
I think it takes away the emotional part of the hug. I was like, I was trying to be emotional. Now you're tickling me. And you won't even accept a wet willy.
I won't. You're correct.
All right. Advise me not. Thanks for derailing us. Who did that?
John.
Of course, it's John. I needed you our last episode. I was talking about some music and
That was
nobody's
like
there to help me.
Friday,
I remember that.
All right. So this week in our lives as parents was
What's
a
the
new
next
one. We're
Oh,
talking,
it's teenagers.
Yeah. So we're talking about
Good God, man.
a little. It's a whole thing, right? So we have 3 teenagers. One's
So is it
about
just
to not-
teenagers?
No, let me finish.
Is that
up.
the topic?
Let
or
me
just
set this up.
all right, I'll give
All
you
right,
the whole
shush,
screen and
shush,
everything.
Shush over there.
I'm trying.
So again, we have 3 teenagers in the house right now. It's been a week. It's been a week. And so it's like this one of these things of when they do something that it's on every show and everyone's doing this thing. But as parents, you're like, well, you can't do that thing because it's stupid and it's not good for you and it's unhealthy. And it's one of those things of I don't always know how to react because it's the same things that existed when we were teenagers, but it's different. I don't know if it's different just because we're the parents now, or it's different because there's just so many other crap things happening all the time that like this is just another crap thing to add. I don't know. So the whole topic was supposed to be how much different is it, how much harder is it being a teenager now than it was when we were younger.
That's the topic?
Yeah, I think that was her question.
Blast.
And you said, I don't think it's harder. And I was like, oh no, it's definitely friggin' harder.
I don't think I look at it this way. I don't think it's harder. I think it's different.
Dangerous. That was the thing. It's more. How is it more dangerous now for teenagers than it was when we were younger?
I don't know if it's more. It's different. And as parents, and I think our parents had to go through the same transition.
Yeah.
Because it was different.
Right.
So how do you deal with that? How do you deal with the, like, let's say, I don't know, it depends on how old you are and everything. Like when I'm growing up, I had to steal like a Playboy magazine from some adult somewhere if I wanted to look at porn.
Yeah.
Let's be real, right? So now look at it today. Okay. Yeah. But before that, right? Before that, they didn't even have access to that. Right. They were looking at a Sears catalog with people in bikinis.
Bras. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, so you got to look at it. I was like, it's all changing and evolving. So my biggest push is it's not, yes, it's more dangerous, but I think it's progressively always going to be more dangerous every single generation.
Yeah.
Because the exposure to technology, knowledge, exposure to information, is all there. So can we find a way for it to not be as dangerous and actually talk to our kids about that stuff instead of still saying it's taboo?
Yeah.
Those types of things, being more transparent in the things that you did and what were the results of the crap you did.
Yeah, I think that's a big one because then, like, I know for you, we joke about what it was like when you were growing up, and sometimes the stories you tell, you say the ending, right? Because where you're from, you're like, oh yeah, well I had this and I got arrested, but it was fine because I knew my parents, so they just let me go. Or this happened, but it was fine, and then because they just took me home. And it's like, well, that's cool. So when you're hearing that story, instead of saying, well, it could have been worse, like this could have happened, all they're hearing is like, well, it worked out for you.
But it was crap.
Right, but that's not what they're hearing.
Let's look at a teen. I mean, I can't psychoanalyze or anything like that, but as a mind that's what do they call it?
Developing,
Evolving, growing,
yeah,
developing. The selective hearing is prominent.
Yes.
Okay. So when you tell somebody 100 good things, and you tell them one bad thing, they tend to hold on to the bad thing. But also those things is like, I tell you these stories, they hear all the fun stuff, but they don't hear the part where I had to go to jail, or I had to go to classes, or I got sent to a home, or, they don't hear that part. All they hear is like, yeah, I drank and got really stupid.
And it worked out.
And the cops pulled me over. It was like, okay, but the people's, they don't hear the part where they tell them, before I graduated high school, 3 of my classmates had died from drunk driving.
Right.
Because they were drunk.
Right.
So they don't hear that part.
Yeah.
But I've told that part just as much as I've told the other part.
Yeah.
So, and this is not like a huge class, everyone. Like, I graduated a class of 24 people.
Yeah.
Okay, 24. And one of them was a classmate. 2 of them were somebody that I knew that were in another school, which had, I think, less graduating people in there too. So they don't hear that part. They just hear the part that I turned out okay. But I was like, but these other people, like, they either went to jail, dead, or never recovered.
Right.
Like, they're still living in poverty and everything to this day, and I'm going to be 50.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they hear that part. They just hear the glorious end of, hey, Scooter's doing just fine.
Yeah.
Well, it's like,
and I also think TV shows today aren't helping.
No.
They're
making light of it.
Right. They're making so light of it that it's just like, oh, it's just normal. It's just something you should try and then see how it goes. And if it's good, keep doing it. And it's like, no, freaking TV shows. Even Disney shows are that same way.
Yes.
They're like, oh, you should just keep pushing your parents to the point where they just get mad at you, but it's fine because they'll forgive you. I need you to not.
No,
do that.
I mean, if you want to, how do I want to put it? That's so white. It drives me nuts. It's so unrealistic. It drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Because it's not real. And I know this is a real question. This is a real conversation that I've had with my daughters. Like, well, I think it was either Ariel or Bailey or both of them. And they're probably listening right now. The conversation was like, wow, that was the most fun summer that I ever had. Remember doing all those things and going out, and you were so happy. And I remember telling them, I was like, your dad was drunk that whole summer. Yeah, it seemed like I was very happy, but I was dying inside, so you have to be realistic about it. As a child like that, you don't want them to have to experience that. But we also talk about some kids look at other people and see that they're going through something stupid and go, I don't want to be part of that.
Yes.
And then other kids, they got to live it. If they don't live it, they never learn it.
Yes.
So we don't know which one they are.
Yeah. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. In our house, yes, we do. We have, if we talk about just our littles, we have one that has to go through it themselves. Every single trip, fall, crack in the road has to go through it or it doesn't exist. It's not a true thing. And the other one who's like, oh no, I saw this person do it and that was really stupid, so I'm not going to do that. We have one of each right now. We're talking about littles only.
Yeah, we really do in the house.
Yeah.
Like one that, and if you guys know us, you know exactly who we're talking about, which one's which. And we have another one that the jury's still out.
Yeah, a little bit of both.
But we don't
She's
know.
Both.
Depends on what day it is.
Yeah.
So what is the topic again? Why do I What are we talking about?
It's talking about the dangers of teenagers now versus when we were younger.
It's always going to be more dangerous because I think as technology grows, as everything becomes more efficient, the dangers become more efficient.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we can go all the way from how much easier it is for people to access alcohol and drugs,
right,
to access and have sex, which is totally normal and natural to me, but not in the way that some people, sometimes it's harmful.
Yeah.
And you don't want to go to that point. So be open about those conversations.
I just think I agree with you when you say it's different, because I think of like when we would go out and do something and maybe one of us had a cell phone at that point, like maybe one of us had a phone. But right now we know where our kids are like all the time. We literally just look it up and be like, oh, they're here. Like we know where it's at, versus when we were younger, we'd be like, okay, we're going to go to someone's house. And maybe we were at someone's house if we were doing the things we were supposed to do. But our parents didn't know. They would hope and trust that we were doing the right thing. Doesn't mean that we were.
Right. And then you got to go on the opposite side of that, not the opposite, but you look at that technology that's in their hand. They also at that point have access to hook up with somebody.
Right.
Access for somebody to bring them drugs or alcohol,
right,
or access to full on whatever type of porn they want, even though it might be something that's very, is it called deprecating, very aggressive and,
right,
and violent.
Yeah.
Like all that violence and all those things
right,
are also accessible
yeah,
to them with that device.
Yes.
So I was like, I look at it as a tool.
Yeah.
Just like anything else out there, it's a tool.
Right.
TikTok's a tool. Instagram's a tool. These are all things. It's how you use it.
Yeah.
If you're going to use it for networking to get drugs or to, commit crimes,
yeah,
or bully somebody, or it's like, well, that's a human problem.
Yeah.
That's a person problem, not a technology problem.
Yeah. I also think too, to think about now as adults, we actually like listen to things that happen in the news, right? Something pops up, something's crazy is going on, like we know, and we're listening and we're hearing it. And when I was a teenager, I wasn't listening to the news, but our kids know more about what's going on in the world than I ever did at their age, because
Fact.
It's just popping up on their screen all day long, all the time.
But it's also,
so I think just as parents back
there's
then,
an agenda behind most of the media and news
Yeah.
that's out there too. And
Yeah.
that's been going on for a very long time, but it's very prevalent now.
yeah. But I just think of the things that I don't even think we realized how scary the world was, because we weren't even paying attention to those things that were scary.
No.
Right now, they don't really have a choice to
No, it's
like,
in their
get rid
face
of the
every day.
things that are
That's
scary.
because that's
Yeah,
their
it's just
only,
all the time.
that's 99% of their communication right now is over a phone. I mean, for
Yeah.
God's sakes,
Right.
we have a 19-year-old that's down here, calls her
Yeah.
mom that's upstairs,
All the time. Sends me a text message.
or that's in the next room.
Yeah.
Or you can look at teenagers now and they're sitting in the back seat and they're in a group conversation
Yes.
with each other
Yes.
in a text thread,
Yes. It's weird.
right? So it's different.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's good, bad, worse, better.
Yeah.
It's different. The dangers are always going to be worse.
Right.
Collectively.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, because, and I'm not like I'm a know-all or anything like that, but realistically, my older daughters are in their late 20s, right? And the kids in my house right now are teenagers.
Yeah.
So that's a whole generation apart.
Yes.
So it's completely different. It's just different.
Yeah.
So not that I get it, but I was like, I see it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
I'm just at a loss as everybody else.
Yes. And something
And
pops
everybody's
up,
at a loss.
and you hope that you're like, I know how to handle this, and then something happens, you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. There it went.
So what was the subject again?
We already talked about it.
All right.
Thanks, Valerie.
See what you did.
You ready for the next one?
Sure. What are we doing?
Did you make a jingle?
For what?
What's up?
Yeah, no.
Oh, why'd you say yeah?
Because you know how my week was. You know how busy I am not just doing this.
What are you talking about?
I'm just sitting around
Oh,
and
jeez.
doing nothing.
All right. Make up a jingle now.
What is it? You're supposed to make it up. Is it? What's up in you? Or area? Is that what it's called?
Jingle. That's just a line.
What's
Yes.
up in you
Do you have something?
or area? Oh yeah.
Okay, you go first.
No, mine's
I don't want you to take mine.
a shameless plug. So if you're in the Tacoma, Tacoma, look at me. I went retro. I look at a Tacoma. I haven't lived there in 12 years. If you're in the Sacramento greater area, Time to Tabletop. It has a Make Time to Tabletop gaming event at Fort Rock Brewing tomorrow from 2 to 6 in Rancho Cordova.
Woohoo!
That was a
Are
shame.
you going?
No, I got to
No,
work
you're
for B&H. I got to work for your company.
You don't have to.
Yes, I do. You guys need the help, and it works out well.
Yeah. So I have 2, I guess, because I don't know where I put the other one in here. So in Houston area, there is a 5K that ends at a brewery. I can't tell you. I think it's called Car Art.
Anybody listening from Houston?
One of those two things.
Houston.
Car Art. Anyways,
Houston.
it's a 5K that the other podcast we listen to all the time. They're walking it tomorrow.
Oh, that's right.
So Scooter and I gotta get up at 10 a.m. and go do it ourselves
What?
at home. We're gonna do a 5K tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
morning at 10.
Urel's from Houston.
Yeah. See.
Are you? I wonder if Urel, if you're actually going though.
Oh yeah.
Are you going to that? I don't
With
know.
a shirt.
I mean, you probably made a shirt for yourself.
We are wake up tomorrow morning at 10, right, and go do it.
You lost me at getting up at 10.
Yeah. I mean, we have to be
On
out
a
of the house
Sunday.
at 10 because I have to. And then at noon,
No, you have stuff going on.
that's why we have to do
Wow.
it at 10. It's not gonna take us an hour to do a 5K. It shouldn't take us an hour to do a 5K.
Says who? I love walking.
And then the other thing tomorrow, which I know this isn't really what's up in your area, but I'm just excited about it. I guess it could be. It's not really a shout out. So Cal Poly is doing a student meet and greet thing at the Kings game tomorrow. So me and Mariah are going to the Kings game. I don't really like the Kings,
Oh, it's a
but I do
Kings
like
game?
basketball. Yeah, it's a pre-funk, and then it's the game.
I didn't know that.
And the cool thing is Mariah can drive.
Yeah, but you're going to spend $75 on beer and have 2.
But I don't have to pay to get in, so
I'm just saying.
You
that
know?
the beers
like
there.
makes up
The
for it.
beers there really are like what, 15
well, there's like
bucks?
18 bars around Doko, so I could go there.
Okay.
That's all I have.
So well,
That's
have fun.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, I'm here
You too. Working.
working for you tomorrow. That'd be great. That's what I had though.
Me too.
We a couple times a month. My company does little
should go.
events at tap rooms.
Yeah.
So we bring board games and Dungeons and Dragons and all that nerdy stuff out to people who are drinking beer. So,
Yes. All right, it's my favorite one.
oh, what are you talking about? Oh yeah, I got to push a button.
Yeah.
I will never give you this button.
Oh, it's
Shout out!
Woo! It's my favorite.
No, I offered to give her that button, and she's like, I don't want those.
I
Too
would
much.
take it out of
too much
be
work.
out of control.
Shout out.
So my shout out is to all of the Sacramento Kings fans because you guys have put in that effort and the Kings finally made it to the playoffs. It's the first time since 2006. So shout out to you guys for staying loyal.
I'm wondering, is it the beam thing?
No,
Did
they got
that-
a better coach.
That's right. Too. I was like, this. I mean, not that it's annoying. This light the beam thing
It's not annoying.
to me,
It's like actual spirit.
which
There hasn't been in the city for
yes,
a
they
minute.
have. They've had some diehard people that have all this spirit, and
Not like this. Nobody shows spirit like a winning team spirit.
it's true.
When they suck, no one puts any flags or anything up. But now
Like-
they're winning.
What's funny is, I mean, not what's funny, but it seems like every single brewery that I work with,
Yeah.
is making a beer for the Kings now.
gotta
this
monopolize
season.
all this.
I'm like, goodness.
I've never seen more purple in my life.
And I love purple.
I'm not a Kings fan.
I'm a purple
I'm
fan,
I'm a
but-
sports fan, so I'm gonna enjoy the crap out of tomorrow.
Oh,
I love all
just-
I love all sports
so.
except for sorry Tony golf. Golf's boring, and baseball. not fun to watch.
That is true. Fun to play though. Both
agree.
them. My shout out. I'll go to my first one. For some reason, well, not for some reason. My fingers got fatter, right? Because I
Not
mean,
for some reason.
well, no, my fingers got fatter. Not just recently. They've been getting bigger ever since I did grappling for a few years. They've been bigger, so I can barely wear the rings that I have. The metal rings that we got when we were married, they can't even fit over my knuckle. It's not the fat of my finger, it's the knuckle. They can't even fit over the
Weird.
knuckle.
Yeah.
They've just gotten bigger and thicker. So there's one. What's going on? You made a funny face and then left me. All right.
You could do
so silicone rings is what I've gotten into, and I've been obsessed with this brand called Enso Rings.
Yes.
So I bought 2 of them. They're very fancy. I like them. Let's see if we can.
Oh, there it goes.
Look at it. Look at that. Look at that. So pretty. It's so pretty, and it's silicone. It's rubber.
Yes.
Well, not rubber. Silicone.
Yes.
And so I bought a couple of those, and you get them in all different colors. There's no sponsorship or anything like that, but I was just like, it's something I'm kind of into, and they're not that expensive.
Yeah.
$20-$30 for a ring, and you don't have to worry about degloving your finger or anything like that.
Disgusting.
That does occur. So that was my one shout out.
Okay.
Go.
I'd like to shout out Crocs because Scooter's become their main investor in the last 30 days. Now that he has like 18 pairs of Crocs.
I have a story about that.
It's ridiculous. And yes, so everybody should make fun of him because he is now the Crocs guy in this house. I want to say he has 6 pairs.
Well, if you count the flip-flops.
Yes, I do count the flip-flops.
If you count the flip-flops, I have 7.
Okay.
If you count the flip-flops.
That's an issue.
I have 3 pairs of flip-flops, 2 standard Crocs, and then 2 slides.
You almost have more Crocs than you have guitars. That should be a concern.
No, I think we'll level up at the same time. Well, here's a kind of the thing. I wasn't against Crocs. I was just like, I love flip-flops, right?
Against Crocs.
I've been a flip-flop fan my whole life. Like, I don't like wearing shoes.
Yes.
Like, I'll wear Chucks or flip-flops. So I did my research on Croc flip-flops, and they're so easy to wash. You just hose them off, and man, they don't
Get ready for the infomercial.
They don't wear out, those types of things. So I wore the flip-flops for years. Like, for years, I've had Croc flip-flops. But I was like, I don't really know if I want, Crocs. So I was like, I'll get slides. So I got the slides. I was like, these are amazing. And I was like, oh, I wore slides for about, almost a year. Just slides.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I'll get the clogs. I think I'll go to the OG. Yeah. Tried one. I was like, they come in red.
7
they come
pairs.
in blue. So it's one of those things. Don't buy your first Croc. You will become obsessed.
No, I don't think that's true.
So here's the story. Here's a short story. Long story long.
Oh no.
During the beer, Meet the Brewer. So his name's Kyle Letty. And I was talking to him about it. And I was talking about I wore shoes that day. I wore my gold Chucks.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I even put on my Chucks today because normally I wear Crocs. And the first thing that came out of his mouth, he goes, have you given up on life?
Yes.
And I was like, well, kind of, because I was like, I can hose off my feet and my shoes at the same time.
That is not what you're looking for in footwear.
That's what I'm looking for, efficiency.
Okay.
My other one, or you can go.
No, I did.
Okay, so I have to say Aqualine guitars.
Yeah.
Check them out, guys. I'll probably
Luthier.
Yeah, I'll tag them in the post in our YouTube and also on our podcast when we upload it because cool guy. He's right here in the area, just a teacher, and he's a woodworker is what he really is. And over the last 5-6 years, he decided to get into guitars.
Yeah.
Building them. He's not much of a guitarist again, but neither was Leo Fender, by the way.
Oh.
If you know that name.
Nope.
Anybody know a Fender guitar?
Never heard of it.
Yeah. If you've ever heard of a Fender guitar, if you look up Leo Fender, he wasn't a guitarist either. He built guitars. So
I have a question. What are we doing the next 2 weeks?
what are you talking about?
We have 2 Fridays off. What are we doing?
What do you mean 2 Fridays? Next Friday.
Oh, that's not true. Next Friday we won't be here.
Right. But
The Friday
following
after. Sorry.
we will be here.
We changed our plans. So yeah.
So
Next Friday. We'll be at the
Where?
greatest place on earth.
no. Adventure? What? California Adventure is the greatest place on earth?
Oh, Disneyland.
We're not going to Disneyland.
It's the same friggin' place.
No, it's not.
I'm getting myself a park hopper. You can just stay at one.
So, yeah, we will not be doing a live next week because we will not be here.
Correct.
So we might do something.
Yeah, from Disney.
Maybe. But we'll see what's going on. We're just going down there for like a day.
And the week after, we're going to the second greatest place on earth,
Canada.
Canada.
We have people we need to see in Canada. So there might be an a flux, not an influx, a flux
Okay.
in scheduling. Influx means more.
Correct.
Flux.
Yes. Change. Just say change.
A change in scheduling just for the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
Because we're firm believers that you can't talk about life unless you live life.
Yes.
So we do have to go live life too.
Yes. And the cool thing is, so next week, the kids' band is playing at California Adventure.
Yeah. So
It's gonna be awesome.
our 17-year-old Mariah, she's going to be playing her trumpet
Yeah.
at California Adventure.
In her nut
For
outfit.
yeah.
Yeah.
For her, yeah. We do a lot of things.
It's exciting.
So this is one of them. All right, guys.
Thank you so much.
That's it then?
That's all I got.
That's all we got for the night.
That's
So make sure to give us some ideas and stuff for shows, topics. We will definitely get to them. That's kind of our promise. We've gotten through so many subjects in our past podcast because of the people that listen.
Yes.
So keep listening.
And I'm going to schedule another Fancy Friday.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to do the Fancy Friday a little bit more often.
Yeah.
Probably once a month.
Yeah.
And if all works out well, the end of maybe this month or soon, maybe the end of the next month or something like that, we might have some special guests.
Yeah.
You know who you are. So until then, make sure to pull up a chair and show up in person,
Yes.
not just like this. Yes. All right.
Adios, muchachos.
See you, everyone.